Here is Lucy is arranging 1 and 5 cent coins in a sequence, okay? She starts off with one 1 cent coin, and then her next sequence on, there's 5 cent coins on both sides. The sequence after that, she puts 2 1s on the end. The sequence after that, she puts 2 5s at the end. Does everybody know what's going on here? Every single time she decides to do, like, she'll put extra 2 1s or an extra 2 5s, depending on what number it is. Okay? Now what I want you to have a look at is the extra coins. Okay, so we're just going to have a really close look at the extra coins. So this is 5. I'm just drawing the one directly above me, except I'm adding on 2 extra ones. So all I'm doing is the 2 extra ones at the end. Is everybody right with that? Now, if you look at the total value, look what happens here. Okay, this one's worth 1 cent. But every single time I add on 2 5s, what happens? It goes up 10 cents. So that sends it to 11. When you add on 2 1s, what happens? It goes up to 13 cents. And then when you add on 2 5s, 23 cents. And then when you add on 2 1s, 25 cents. Okay? Now, if you were to separate this out into evens and odds, I'm going to do this right at the start, alright? If you were to separate this out to evens, I'm going to highlight the odd ones, okay? The odd ones are going to be in yellow. Row 1 is odd, row 3 is odd, row 5 is odd. 1, 13, 25. Do you notice a pattern there in the odd ones? They all go up by 12. Do you see that? While the even ones, which I'm going to highlight in green, they also go up in 12s as well. So the next one after that, the next even one will be row 6, won't it? And row 6 will be worth how much? You add on 2 5s to become 35. And as predicted, the greens skip up by 12. Each even row skips up 12 each time. And each odd row also skips up 12. Just remember that for later on. Okay? Because we're going to use that later on a much more complicated question. Okay, we did that already. We're on the board. They probably chuck 10 marks at you just for doing that. Okay? Next thing. In the table below, the number of coins and total value of the coins in each row. Complete the table for rows 4 to 7. In row 4, how many 5s do we have? 4 5s. How many 1s do we have? 3. How many total coins is? 7. And total value? 23. We did that already, didn't we? Okay. Why I'm asking you guys, look at the pattern. This pattern here. 1 1, 3 3. What do you think is going to come after that? 5 5. And after that? 7. There's no extra one, but if there was, it'd be there. Alright, what about the next part? 0, 2 2, 4 4. Now we'll just double check that. Row 5, does it have 4 of them? 1 2 3 4. Yes, it does. It has 4 of them. So, excuse me. So 4 4. After that, 6 6. Total number of coins goes up how many each time? 9, 11, and 13. It goes up 2 each time. You add on 2 coins at the end of each sequence, whether it be 2 1s or 2 5s. You're constantly going up by 2 coins. And then the values, 25, 35. Now remember what we said. You go up by 10, then you go up by 2, then you go up by 10, then you go up by 2, then you go up by 10, then you go up by 2. So when you get the okay, here's the problem. Complete the following sentences to state in terms of n the number of 1 cent coins and 2 cent coins in row n. If it's odd, n has this many 1 cent coins and this many 5 cent coins, and that's really difficult to do. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the odd rows and have a really good look at the odd rows. Which ones are the odd rows again? The yellow ones, isn't it? Oh, sorry, wrong colour. Does everybody agree that the yellow ones are the ones I need to look at the moment? Do you want me to look at the odd rows? So, let me see. Just want to go with this. If n is odd, so n is an odd number. So look at the last one. n 1 cent coins and n minus 1 5-cent coins. Okay. Row 5. Let's look at row 5 really carefully. Row 5 has how many 1 cent coins? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So row 5 has 5 1 cent coins. Okay, so when n equals 5, you have 5 1 cent coins. And how many 5-cent coins do you have? 4 5-cent coins. Let's have a look at n equals 3. At n equals 3, how many 1 cent coins do you have? 3 1 cent coins. And how many 5-cent coins? 2 5-cent coins. Now what this means is that your row number, see row number of 3. Row number of 3 automatically has 3 1 cents. Would you agree with that? Row number of 5 automatically has 5 1 cents. Therefore, a row number of n will have n 1 cent coins. Basically, the row number, if it's odd, equals the amount of 1 cent coins you have in that row. However, the 5-cent coins is always one number smaller, isn't it? So therefore, if it's not n, it's going to be n minus 1, because it's 1 less. Okay? Everybody alright with that? We'll stop it here. Any questions? Now, I'll do the same thing for the even rows. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to look at the green ones, okay? So once again, I'll just highlight them in green and really zone in on what I'm doing here. So green, green. There's only 2 of them to look at the moment, right? So what I'm seeing here is this. If n equals 4, because n is the row number, if n equals 4, I have 4 5-cent coins, and I only have 3 1 cent coins. Yeah? If n equals 2, I have 2 5-cent coins and only 1 1 cent coin. What's the general gist then? For even numbers, your row number equals the number of 5-cent coins you have. So when it's a row number of 2, you'll have 2 5-cent coins. Therefore, when it's a row number of n, you're going to have n 5-cent coins, and the 1 cent coins is always 1 smaller. So that's why it'll be n minus 1 here. Okay? For every row, as an example, if I called out row 8, what would you tell me in row 8? Row 8 is even. How many 1 cent coins would I have? 7 1 cent coins. How many 5-cent coins would I have? 8 5-cent coins. If I called out row, we'll go for row 5 because we know what it looks like. If I said row 5, which rule are you going to use? The top rule or the bottom rule? Top rule for odd numbers. How many 1 cent coins would I have? 5 1 centers. And how many 5-cent coins would I have? 4 5 centers. Okay, moving on. Find the total number of coins in the 40th row. The total number of coins in the 40th row. 40th row is even or odd? Even. Using this rule here, the even rule, n equals 40. How many 1 cent coins will I have? 39 1 centers. And how many 5 centers will I have? 40. What's my total number of coins then? 79 coins. Okay. I used this rule here, Sean. N is an even number, and I'm using the even rule. So I replace n with 40. So 40 minus 1 is 39 1 cent coins, and n being 40 is 45 cent coins. Then I added the 39 and the 40 together to get 79. Exactly, because it's an even number. If that was 41, I'd have to use the top formula, not the bottom formula. Okay, now, next thing. Find the value of the coins in the 49th row. What's the value of coins, guys? It's the, we have 39 1 cent coins, don't we? And then we have 40 5-cent coins, Add them together, you get 239 cents. Some of you guys might want to write that down as €2.39. Everybody alright with that? Cool. Next one. Next one. Which row has coins with a total value of 337? This is a difficult one. Can anybody tell me? This is a very difficult one, okay? Because we don't know if it's even or odd. We don't know if it's an odd row or a even row. Now, there's a way to do this, okay? Here's how you're going to do it. Remember we came up with this formula earlier on? Yeah, remember we came up with that? Okay? So, if it's odd, here's what happens. If it's odd, it's going to be 1 multiplied by n plus 5 times n minus 1. Does everybody get what I'm doing there? I'm multiplying 1 by the number of 1-cent coins. I'm multiplying 5 by the number of 5-cent coins to get the total value. Okay? So that's total value if it's odd. Total value if it's even is going to be 1 multiplied by n minus 1 plus 5 times n equals the total. And I have to use both of these formulas here because they're both I have to test both of them out because I don't know which one it is. So here's what I'm going to do. I know, but I have to go in pretending I don't know which one it's going to turn out to be. Okay, so that's my two formulas I'm going to use. I started out with even. Okay, so I'll start with even here, even though I know it's odd already. But we'll start off with even. Here's what happens with even. We're going to say the total is what, guys? The total is 337. What's 1 times n minus 1? N minus 1. 5 times n? 5n. N plus 5n? 6n. Bring the 1 over to the other side. 338. Now, here's the problem. N will only equal 56.3. Is there such thing as the 56.3 row? Rows go up in ones. If you go back to the start of the question, row 1, row 2, n equals 1, n equals 2. Row 3 is n equals 3. Row 4 is n equals 4. There's no such thing as 4.3, 4.5, 4.7. Doesn't exist. That means I chose the wrong one. It's definitely not even. So if it's not even, the only other chance that leaves is that it's odd. Multiply out the odd formula, and you get n plus 5n minus 5 equals 337. 6n minus 5 equals 337. Add on the 5. 6n equals 342. Divided by 6. 57. The 57th row will add up to 337 cents. Now, if you're really bullheaded about it, and you had a bit of extra time and you wanted some attempt marks, what could you have done? You could have went back down here to the 5th row. The 5th row is worth how much? 25, and we're about to add on 10, aren't we? So you could have done it like this. Okay, now this is going to take a good bit of concentration to pull this off now, but you could do it like this. 25 was the 5th row, wasn't it? And we're about to add on 10, weren't we? 10, there's the 6th row. There's the 7th row. There's the 8th row. There's the 9th row. And you just keep going. There's the 10th row. And you could eventually get up to 337 that way, but that's going to take a long time. Now, find the total value of the coins in the first 40 rows. This one was very difficult. Okay? Remember what I told you earlier, where you divide it up into evens and odds. Now here's what happens. When you're talking about the first 40 rows, you're talking about 20 even numbers and 20 odd numbers. Okay? So 20 evens and 20 odds. The even sequence is this. Let's go with the even starting off. 11, 13, 23, 35. Would you agree with that? They're the even ones. So it'll go 11 plus 23 plus 35. What's next? Anybody know what's next? 47. Look, we're not going to do all 20 of them. That's not going to happen. But I can get the grand sum of all 20 even rows that are contained within the first 40. What about the odd ones? What did the odds start off with? 1, 13, after that, 25, plus dot dot dot, 37 after that. Can anybody tell me, if there's going to be 20 evens, isn't there? And there's going to be 20 odd rows. How do I find out the collective value of each one separately? Do I use Tn or Sn? Why is it Sn? Sorry? It gives you them all added together. Okay? 2a plus n minus 1 times d. We'll start off with the evens. What's the a value for the even? A value? $11. Okay, guys, everybody be doing something productive with your time now, okay? What's the d value? Huh? How much is it going up by each time? The d value is 12. What's the n value? How many times do I need to do it? I want to know, you're right about 40, but because I broke it up into evens and odds, there's 20 of each. So this is for the evens only. It's going to be 20 over 2 into 2 times a, which is 22. D is 12. So you're going to get 12n minus 12. And then you're going to get 10 into... Oh wait, we know the n value, don't we? So I messed that up there. The n value is... It's going to be 19 times 12, isn't it? 20 minus 1, 19. 19 multiplied by 12 is... I actually don't have it here because I just multiplied it out in one go. Yeah, I can just do it all in one go. Guys, I just put all that into the calculator, do it in one go. And what I'm going to get is 2,500 cents. That's for the even rows only, not the odd rows. Now I have to go and do the odds. So what do we say about the odds? What's the a value for the odds? The a value is, it starts off at 1, the d value is 12, and the n value 20. I do the same formula again. 20 over 2 into 2 times the a value, which is going to be 2 times 1, plus n minus 1, which is going to be 20 minus 1 times the d value, which is 12. I'm going to write all of that into the calculator straight away. I'm not going to mess about with it. And what I'll get is 2,300 cents. I'm then going to add the answer for all the even rows to the answer for all the odd rows, and then I can get 4,800 cents in total. Okay. Alright guys, this question here. Investments can increase or decrease in value. The value of a particular investment is of €100 was found in the following model, where t is time in months after the investment was made. Find the rate at which the value of the investment was changing after 6 months. State whether the value of the investment was increasing or decreasing after 18 months. Now, without knowing an absolute thing, how do I get marks on the board? Without doing anything fancy whatsoever. I go right in for the table function. And instead of using v, my f of x is now my v. My x is now t. Look what happens. You can track how your investment works just by entering it into the formula this way here. Now, where should I start from? Anybody tell me? As a 45x and not 4.5. Sorry about that. Thanks. Where should I start from? Should I start with a negative number? How do I know? T is time. Time can never be negative. Start off at 0. I see 18 months down here. See 18? I'm just having a quick glance at the second question. If I go as far up as 18, I'll have a lot of information to use. Go up in steps of 1. Look what happens. When no time has passed, your investment is worth €100. As time goes on, your investment gets bigger and bigger and bigger. What you notice about the gaps though, from month to month, are they getting bigger or smaller? I'd say they're starting to get smaller now. It was going up by it's starting to go up very little. The last one only went up by 4.5. It's getting slower. It's an N-shaped curve. It's getting slower, and now it'll go down soon. The minute it goes down, it's starting to decrease. So where does it start? There, right there. See it there? 14, 15, 16. 15 is the peak. 16, it's already on its way down. Therefore, 17 and 18, it's on its way down. You found out tons of information there in one go. Okay? So here's what we need to find out. Find the rate. When you see the word rate, rate means how much does it change. Rate is another way of saying first derivative, which is another way of saying slope. If you ever see that word rate, it's a key word. You need to know it. If you're in a question, paper 1, and you're at the end of your exam, you see that word rate, it means you're going to be differentiating. We're going to differentiate and differentiate to find the rate of increase. So the v dt, because it's v in terms of t, that's your first derivative. Differentiate 100, what happens? 0. Differentiate 45t, and then differentiate 1.5 t squared. Differentiate t squared, what do we get? 2t. Multiply 2t by 1.5 minus 3t. Now, it tells me that, does it give me a value for the time? What's the value for the time? T equals 6. 45 minus 3 times 6. 45 minus 18, about 27, yeah? It means the jump from 6 to 7 months, it won't be 27 exactly, but it'll be a number very close to 27. I won't get into that, it's just a bit complicated. But if I go from 6 to 7 months, what's the gap roughly? It was roughly 24 and a half. Or 24 and a half is quite close to 27. You've just after getting the rate of change at exactly 6 months. So, state whether the value of the investment was increasing or decreasing after 18 months. Now, what did I tell you about the rate, the word rate? Rate means if it's going up or it's going down. It's an N-shaped curve. It's on its way up until what point? T equals 15. We can see it here. Then it's on its way down after that. That means it's decreasing. But how do we prove that? You want to prove that the slope is negative. So you want to prove that the VDT, which is the slope, is negative at what time? T equals 18. 45 minus 54 is minus 9. Minus 9 is negative. So if the rate is negative, negative rate means decreasing. If it's a positive rate, it's on its way up. If it's a negative rate, it's on its way down. Is that alright? If I put the number 3 in here, would it be positive or negative? Because at t equals 3, it's on its way up, not its way down. Okay. The investment was cashed in at the end of 24 months. How much was it worth at that time? I have an easy way of doing this. Just go down to 24. I can check my answer. €316. It's on its way down. Another way of doing that would be just to replace t with 24. So phi equals 100 minus, what's it, 45 plus 45 times 24 minus 1.5 times 24 squared. I guarantee you that's 316 when you put it in. Your investment is worth €316. Remember, N-shaped curve. Goes up, hits its max, comes back down again. Yeah, done. How much was the investment worth at its maximum value? Well, we know that already, don't we? Two ways of doing it. 437.5 is definitely your maximum, isn't it? That's the first way of doing it, but you don't get full marks for that. The rule is for full marks is that your slope equals 0. The value, your slope formula is 45 minus 3t equals 0. 3t equals 45. It occurs after 15 months. Your maximum occurs after 15 months. You then use the phi formula, which is, what's the phi formula again? 100, somebody remind me of that. 100 plus 45t. Exactly, minus 1.5 t squared. And all I do is replace in 15 where I see t. And what happens? I get that number, 437.50 being my maximum value.